Okay, I'm live. All right. Hi, YouTube. Okay, I'm live. Let me mute my YouTube. Sorry. All right. Hi, YouTube. Well, we got off to kind of a rough start. Back in around 1975, when I was 17 years old, I sat in my basement and read the book of Revelation from cover to cover. The revelation of Jesus Christ. As I read it and looked at all the cross references in the Bible I have, which happened to be New American Bible, St. Joseph edition. I was raised Catholic. I began to see the vision. And from that moment, I knew we were in the last days. I had been withdrawing from drugs and alcohol at the time. Probably not withdrawing, I was too young. I don't think I had gotten physically addiction, so I probably didn't have withdrawals. In any event, I left the house, ran up the street, and started trying to tell people it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. And for maybe a month or two, maybe it was delayed withdrawal or something, I don't know. But maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, I went around to people and I saw things like 9s and 11s. This is back in 1975. I saw 9s and 11s. And I saw 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And I remember somebody asked me, well, what's the date of the end of the world? And I said, I don't know. Maybe a week from next Tuesday or something like that. It was strange that that happened to be April Fool's Day, that date, that a week from next Tuesday. No one knows the day or the hour when Jesus Christ will return. If there is a rapture, no one knows when that will be. But we're given to know the seasons. We're given to know the seasons, not the seasons of the weather. We're given to know the times. We're given to know when it's approaching. There's the parable in the Bible, the parable of the fig tree. You can go into a concordance or Bible Gateway and look up the parable of the fig tree. And people say that's back when Israel became a nation back in 1948. When the fig tree spreads her leaves, you'll know that the time is near, something like that. And it basically says this generation shall not pass away until all these things be fulfilled. That's a prophecy in another book of the Bible, but I'm getting it word for word. I don't know chapter and verse. Maybe I'll get into my Bible and start doing the research so I can quote chapter and verse to you, but I think you should pick up a Bible and figure it out for yourself, actually. Maybe you should do that. Get a concordance, get a Bible, go to Bible Gateway. You can find the information. In any event, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so critical. I've done the research and I've been slammed for a long time into nut houses and therapy and counseling because I'm crazy. You're crazy if you don't pay attention. I'm sorry, I get angry. And I don't want to get off on a digressing, but I'm losing track of what I was going to say. Let me go on to it. With this virus that's out there, there are passages in the book of Revelation. That's where you got to start. That's the first book to read, not the last. There are passages that talk about the population being wiped out on planet Earth. And you'll see if you do a search for coronavirus. Oh, shouldn't have said the word. It brings censorship. You'll see if you search it that many people could die from whatever this is going around, whether it be the flu or a bioweapon or whether it was released intentionally or accidentally, it doesn't matter. We could conceivably see 1 billion die, not just millions. It's spreading. The World Health Organization won't call it a pandemic. In the United States, they say it's a national health emergency. NORSCOM has gone back and reviewed its orders for quarantining troops, our troops, who have been to China. Now in North Korea, 2.5 million people have been politely asked to quarantine themselves. Over 400 million, maybe 700 million, are quarantined or locked down in China. That's 1 in 10 people on the entire earth. New York and Florida have gag orders, basically, almost on people. New York had a gag order on the medical personnel, the police, and the firemen. Florida is not releasing any information. Are they being tested? Aren't they being tested? Were the tests negative? Were the tests positive? Florida won't tell you if there's an outbreak in Florida or not. There are quarantine sites across the country. This thing's going to spread. Wake up. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you live through it or not. What it's about is coming to terms with Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, as his Hebrew name is called. You need to come to terms with it at this point. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who my audience is. I think of people while I'm saying this. And I don't have the right attitude to approach some people. But then what person speaking of prophecy ever did have a right attitude according to the world? The time is here. I tried to tell people that we were at the end of the world. I said, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. And a theology teacher said to me, it's the end of your world. Bad things are going to happen to you. Heh, little did I know. 30 years in nut houses. And I'm not supposed to be angry. I'm sorry. In any event, the point is, read the book of Revelation. And in the book of Daniel, it talks about a 7-year time period started by a treaty, a covenant confirmed with the many. Look at the peace deal that Kirchner is negotiating at Trump's request with Israel. Woe to America if we divide the nation of Israel. Any nation that's ever gone against Israel has reaped consequences. And Kirshner is talking about a possible treaty to divide the nation of Israel. The Jews in Israel are saying, we want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. The Mashiach they're calling for is none other than the Antichrist written about in the Bible, Revelation 13:18. And he causes all, both great and small, to receive a mark on their right hand or forehead, that none may buy or sell save he has the mark of the beast or worship his image or has his number. I don't have that quoted exactly. That I know is Revelation 13:18. And if you read into Revelation 13, around 14 or 15, you'll see more about who this Antichrist is. If you look up man of perdition, you'll see the Antichrist. Google search it. Man of perdition. Scroogle. You need to read the book of Revelation and look into this virus. It's something more dastardly than you can imagine. Meanwhile, I suggest, because it's the only thing we can do, get N95 masks, buy some groceries, buy some bleach, some Lysol, some rubbing alcohol, misters and sprays. Boost your immune system. Boost your immune system. Get vitamin C, vitamin D, they say. They say vitamin C, they say zinc. They say things like oil of oregano. I don't know alternative medicine, and I'm not going to recommend any more than that. And I'm not saying that'll stop this, because there might be nothing that can stop this except Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, the true Messiah, the only begotten Son of God, the only way to the Father. He died for us. He rose from the dead. And there is something in the Bible about if you believe that he rose from the dead, you might be saved. We have to know. We all sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. Every single one of us, probably at every point in our lives. If you think you didn't sin or you're not sinning still, you got a humility problem. And so do I. He died on the cross for us. He rose from the dead, and he'll come again. And it's not a day to look forward to, because Jesus is coming, and boy, is he mad. He's coming as the Lion of Judah. He's coming as a conquering king. Believe on him, call on him, have his mercy before he comes. That's all out of me. I might never get any subscribers. All I know is this. I've been knowing it's the end of the world as we know it since 1975. And this is the first I've begun to be able to talk about it and have any kind of words. Please hear. Please hear.